Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is August 5th, 2010, and this is the final video I'll be producing today. And this video is the second part of this news bulletin for today, and we're finishing up and starting off with hail fighters. Weather mod pilots having busy summer. So for all of you that say that people aren't spraying the skies, and that it's a conspiracy theory that cloud seeding doesn't exist, I recommend you just check out mainstream news articles, because you'll find it in Time magazine when the Russians are saying they're doing it. The Chinese brag about how they have the best weather modification program in the world. Or you can check out these guys who've been doing it since 1961. So the only difference is that these guys have these little Cessna type style planes, and they're just regular civilians with a private company, and the big 737 size planes that are totally unmarked, usually white, that are spraying real thick patterns of trails way higher than what these guys are flying. What the hell is going on with that? That's what I want to know. But I think I have an idea what it is. It's basically public, private, working together. It's universities conducting research with their own funds, along with government funds, using Navy, Air Force planes, and using private companies, chemical companies, and technological companies for the nanoparticles that they're using for military purposes. But this was from August 4th, 2010. It says the storms have brought high winds, heavy rainfall, and damaging hail, and spawned numerous tornado warnings. It says an abnormally active, severe storm summer. And I posted this in the last video. We've had El Nino going on this year, so you might want to check that out. It says seeding storms can accomplish one of two things: increase the chance of rainfall by an estimated 10%, or reduce the amount of rain or harmful hail. And they say what they use, which is something that I already know. Miller and other weather modification pilots dispense silver iodide or dry ice into the clouds of the thunderstorm, depending on what type of plane is being used. The seeding is done from above or virtually within a storm cloud. Which then takes me to this article from CNN. Severe Russian drought forces export ban. August 5th, 2010. Says as Russia reels from the worst drought in nearly 40 years, Prime Minister Vladimir Putin has announced a temporary ban on grain exports. I think it's expedient to temporarily ban exports of grain and grain products from Russia, Putin said in a government meeting Thursday. You also have the raging wildfires going on, people inhaling smoke. But then you have the Chinese, who have been dealing with a lot of flooding this year. China floods wash explosive chemicals into river. Flooding in northwestern China has washed more than 1,000 barrels containing explosive chemicals into a major river. And it's basically, floating towards Russia's border right now as of today, actually as of yesterday. And all of these were released due to the flooding, right? Pakistan monsoon floods kill up to 800. This is from the end of July 2010. And so the point of me showing all of these articles in that particular order is because I caught an article that was basically attributing what was going on in Pakistan and the monsoons with climate change, saying this is proof, this is climate change. And then you have what's going on in Russia with the dry heat and the fires, and now they're banning the exports. And this is another go. This is, with the BP spill and that, it's another go at this carbon tax, and that's what these people want. This is what the international banks want. They want a carbon tax. They want a tax on everything that is that uses carbon, CO2, and it's based off a theory that there is a growing consensus that is not valid. The theory is not valid, but it doesn't really matter, because mainstream news agencies will post articles saying that all of this stuff that's going on, whether it's these barrels floating in the river and the floods and the monsoons in Pakistan or the fires and the heat in Russia, they're not going to take any of what I said earlier into consideration. They're not going to take the fact that Russia, China, and the U.S. have the biggest weather modification programs going in the world, right? And and two of them are having problems with too much rain and too little rain. You also have, like I said before, El Nino, which plays a specific role on weather patterns and moisture, where you'll have a lot of rain somewhere, and then you'll have almost no rain and droughts in another. But see, like I said, they're going to keep blaming this on climate change, and this is the insanity of it, is if these guys are up here spraying on a global scale, messing with the weather, then how, and then you have El Nino messing with weather and patterns, how in the heck can you say that it's climate change being produced by Joe Q. Citizen driving his car so that he can go try to earn a few Federal Reserve notes to pay for his GMO food so he can live? No, you're gonna tax Joe Q. Citizen, and that's just wrong. That's fraud. That's thievery. This is posted today. New claims for jobless benefits rise to 479,000. Says initial requests for jobless benefits rose last week to their highest level since April, a sign that hiring remains weak and some companies are still cutting workers. Oh man, but Warren Buffett, he knows what's going on. He's wealthy, so he wouldn't lie, right? And he said that they're hiring and that the economy is going to rebound and recover. Tepid retail sales bode ill for autumn. Retailers posted July sales below analysts' expectations after cutting prices to attract shoppers worried about high unemployment, a strategy that bodes ill for the back-to-school season. This is from July 29th, 2010. Tax collection down 15% amid downturn. The Internal Revenue Service collected less in 2009 than the year before, likely the result of the economic downturn and increasingly complex returns filed by both individuals and corporate taxpayers, an internal government report found on Thursday. August 4th, 2010, IRS rebrands unit with international focus. The IRS on Wednesday said it would rebrand its big business unit, adding the word international to reflect a renewed focus on companies that stash money abroad to avoid taxes. Goldman weighing prop trading unit option sources. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated is considering two options for its main proprietary trading group as it tries to comply with a new U.S. financial reform law. Sources familiar with the process said Goldman executives have been meeting to decide what to do with the Goldman Principal Strategies Group. One option is to spin it off into a separate fund that would raise its own capital from investors. It says also, this shifts group's employees into Goldman's asset management business, where they would become part of a $7 billion internal hedge fund that manages money for the firm's wealthy. It says Goldman would benefit by being one of the first Wall Street banks to determine how it was going to deal with its proprietary trading options. So they said there's going to be a lot of firms that do this, and I think this is the first mover advantage. This article, food stamp use hits record 40.8 million in May. The number of Americans who are receiving food stamps rose to record 40.8 million in May as the jobless rate hovered near a 27-year high, the government reported yesterday. That's right, the unemployment is probably around 20%, the real unemployment, those who are still unemployed not receiving benefits. An August surprise from Obama. Long story short, another stimulus. I just said this in my recent videos that more stimulus and bailouts will be forthcoming. More looting and stealing. Worst government snoops, Russia, China, and USA. This is from August 4th, 2010. Says, basically the Russia, China, and USA have the biggest spy network and surveillance network. Giant trash islands threaten China bridge and dams. From August 4th, vast floating islands of rubbish and debris accumulated after torrential rains and flooding. And this is what gets me. New garbage patch discovered in the Indian Ocean is that they will apply these CO2 taxes, but they don't give a shit about, they don't care about the environment. They really don't. They just want taxes. and they'll make you feel bad in order to get them.